What's going on, everybody? Coach Stefan here. I'm with one of our clients, Jamie, that's been in our program about what, 6 months, right? Ish. Yeah. And then you
Yes.
just continued or continuing for another 6 months. Had really good progress over the 6 months. Down quite a bit. Physical transformation looks really good, which we'll dive into. But just for context, do you mind introducing yourself, letting people know who you are, what you do for work, and then we'll just kind of dive in, man.
I'm Jamie Wansing. I'm a Cottleville firefighter. I'm a captain currently. I've been with the district 29 years, and that's been my role. That's been really my only job
Yeah.
for
29 years
29
is a
years.
long time. Yeah. How close are you to retirement?
Probably good 3 to 5 years away.
Yeah. And we actually have a couple other firefighters. I actually just did an interview with Adrian the other day. That is about 5 years out too. So we do get a lot of guys that have been in the fire service for a while that are coming, to us to for various reasons. Like, think a lot of it is as not new news to you as a first responder spending your whole life and career. It's like you've seen it, I've seen it, the guys that kind of retire and unfortunately they either kind of fall apart, some of them pass away. Like it can not be great. And so I think a lot of people come to us to be like, hey, I really want to finish my career strong. I really want to like get in shape and enjoy my retirement and maybe like do some of the back work of maybe not taking super good care of yourself because of the job and the career and all that. But I want to know for you, Jamie, what made you join the program 6 months ago, man? What was the big push for you?
I was stuck in a rut and I wasn't making any progress on working out on my own. Um, I just happened upon some of your videos and just reading and looking. And it sounded really interesting to me. So I obviously contacted you and we set it up. Um, I did it for more like longevity. After this is done, I want to be able to go and enjoy my retirement by traveling, hiking or just being in general good shape and not fall apart afterwards. Because yeah, I've seen it. I've seen guys just absolutely fall apart after
Yeah.
retirement and it's bad because they wanted to enjoy retirement but they couldn't.
Yeah. And I can't, I'm not there. But in the military, when I was in the military, I saw this kind of the same thing. And I mean, you got to take ownership of your situation. However, what a terrible thing, right? You bust your ass your whole career and you put in all this time serving others. And then again, you retire and things start unraveling, right? Injuries, surgeries, medication. Like it's just, and then again, also sometimes the mental aspect too, because like you have this mission and this purpose, and then you're kind of going away from that. What was the thing for you? Was it, I know you said you were kind of in a rut. Was it more the training? Was it more the nutrition? Was it more the accountability or kind of a mix of everything?
It was kind of a mix of everything, like, you know, just programming and from in general, it was just like I was floating around, going from one thing to the other. And then nutrition, I just didn't, as much as I should, understand nutrition. And I needed somebody just to guide me through the nutrition, and that's helped me a lot. And then just wanting to transform. I was, a little bit overweight, and I could tell, my wife could tell. So I just wanted to change. I decided I needed to do a change, and that's where I started.
Yeah. What do you think it was in your life that said, enough's enough? Like, was there kind of a draw the line in the sand moment when you were like, you know what, like I'm gaining a little bit of weight. Like I actually, because you're not, new to fitness, right? Like you've been in the fire service for a long time. And I think that's where a lot of our guys are, right? They're men in their 40s and 50s. They're like, bro, I've been working out my whole life. Normally, we would not think that those type of people, just outside perspective, right, would be like, oh yeah, they need a coach or they need help. But usually there's something that happens where we kind of have to look at ourselves and say, okay, obviously what I'm doing is not working. I need a little bit of guidance. Was there a specific moment for you?
Yeah, I just felt, I was feeling more sluggish. I saw some pictures of myself on vacation. Um, and I was feeling more sluggish and just not not at my peak performance that I could be for my job.
Mm,
And that's the big thing is just, you're asked to perform at a moment's notice and you have to be able to. And I just saw that slipping away and um I was worried about that.
yeah. For sure. So it sounds like the big struggle for you was, like you said, a little bit of a mix of everything. It wasn't like one thing was completely unraveling, but like you needed better programming that actually made sense for your career and your body and your schedule, right? So hyper specific to you, which obviously we do. Same thing with nutrition, something that actually fits what you're willing to eat, what you want to eat, your lifestyle. And then, having the accountability and the guidance. What were like the top three goals when you first joined the program? Like, was it, I want to hit a certain weight or I want to, be able to get cardio? Like, what were those for you?
Some of it was to get down to a specific weight and lose some body fat because I know my body fat was up there and just, overall physical conditioning, just, the strength aspect of it, just to, have strong joints and, could do my job and not worry about, you know, can I lift this or can I move this in my head? And
Yeah.
that's what got me.
Yeah. Well, now to the best part. In 6 months,
Yeah,
you've made quite the transformation, right? Physically, like if your before and after is huge, man. Um,
yeah.
do you mind if we talk like metrics and numbers?
No, I don't. That's good.
Where were you sitting at with your weight and body fat when you first started? Just rough estimate.
I think I was around 215 and about 22 or 23% body fat.
Okay. And how old are you and what's your height?
I'm 55 and 6 foot.
Okay. So like not a lot out of shape, right? Like 22% isn't like super high, but a lot of it was on your midsection, right?
Yep.
I always tell guys, welcome to being a dude. That's like
Yeah.
where it goes, unfortunately. Um, but at 55 years old, what were you able to do in 6 months in the program? What are you sitting at right now?
I'm sitting at around 179 and 11% body fat.
Dude, so you cut your body fat in half and lost, what, 25 pounds?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
170, yeah, 25 pounds. I mean, it doesn't matter about the pounds. Look at the body fat, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Now, with that, do you feel like your performance got better? Mobility, strength, cardio?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we've had a couple fires and stuff, where we really had to work and it didn't bother me like I was ready to go change my bottle and go back to work.
Yeah.
And before that, it was like, all right, we got to take a breather for a few minutes. But
Okay.
now it's like I'm ready to go back and it doesn't destroy me like, like it used to. So
Yeah.
when I
Let's
was a
go.
little heavier and stuff. So,
That's awesome. And I think for you, being in 29 years, being in your 50s, obviously in the leadership type position, right? You got guys that look up to
mhm.
you. It was the same thing with Adrian and some of our other firefighters, even Coach Josh, that's been in, 12, 13 years. Like he still has some younger guys under them. Have you noticed a difference at work at all? I'm just kind of curious as far as like people noticing that you're getting in shape and like leading a
Oh
little bit
yeah, I've got
differently.
I've got some comments. I've got some comments. They're like, "Wow, you're thinner than you were." Um, but yeah, people like have noticed, um, which has been good. Um, like, um, I think they can tell from some of my performance. I got a really young guy who's 22, so
Yeah.
he keeping up with him is a challenge. He's a boxer, so
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Right. But do you feel like you lead differently now that like,
oh yeah, yeah.
that
I'm not afraid of the work. I'm like, we're going to work.
yeah,
and it doesn't matter what the job is, but it's like we're going to work
right.
and they'll follow
It's awesome, dude.
and not
And that's
and not
that's
have
kind
to
of
worry.
yeah, and that's why we talk about a lot about like leading from the front, right? And the reality is like you're already a leader, right? And like the badge and the rank and all that, like it all matters. But if you're not walking the walk, right? Like that is hard to fully like step into that, right? And now even the 22-year-old, like you're never going to be 22 again, right? Like I don't expect you
No.
to keep up with this 22-year-old boxer tit for tat. But at the same time, you're like, dude, let's go. And you can say it with conviction because you are putting in the work and you are doing it, right? And I think that's the thing that matters a lot. What were some like fears and hesitations? Because this was the first online coach you work with, right?
Yeah.
What were some of the maybe fears and hesitations before joining the program?
Just that some of the fears was I wasn't going to follow through, and you know, somebody here, like somebody that's physically present, holding you accountable. Um, that was one of my biggest fears is that, and like how would I have access to the coach to ask him questions? Because I ask questions every once in a while, just for my information or just to get some insight, and that was my biggest fear is not following through. And I just, made myself follow through. And the first couple weeks sucked, um, but now it's pretty much a habit, and I get my workouts in and pretty consistent. I'm getting better at my nutrition. I don't eat enough, he
Yeah,
says.
you're good though. You've
Yeah, but
made progress.
yeah. So, but I'm not far off. Um, Thinking of my metrics. We just had our physicals last week, and I was down 30 pounds from this time last year.
Dang.
So, so
Yeah, dude, that's huge.
I was pretty heavy at my physical last year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, 11% body fat in 6 months is wicked good, right? Normally, when we see that, we would like in the exercise science community, we would assume, oh, this guy got probably he did like a, really restrictive diet, whatever. He was, no carbs and he got weak and lost muscle because normally body fat is like 1 to 2% per month is good. Now, mostly at the beginning, right? It could be kind of maybe 2%, like, but as you lose weight, it gets harder, right? As you've noticed.
Yeah,
And so the fact that you've lost 11% in 6 months is like, you got to give yourself more credit, dude. That's really,
yeah,
really, really good. You're obviously
yeah,
doing something right. And yes, there's always room to improve with nutrition and training, but you got to give yourself a pat on the back. And I think that's important to talk about as far as the fears and hesitations, because every single client that ever joins our program that has a call with me, I know on the other end in their head, it's like, will this work? Will I stay consistent? And it's like, well, two things. Number one, we try to let people that are actually ready to make a change in our program, right? Which you were, you really wanted it. That is why I have those calls. And number two, the proof's kind of in the pudding, right? Like it's not just you winning, as you see in the group. It's a lot of other people having transformations and crushing it and doing the
yeah,
challenges and losing weight. And the thing is for online coaching, and I did in person for 10 years, and I understand the like, wait, you're not like there. Like, how are you going to help me? And here's some context for those of you listening. In person isn't a terrible solution. I'm not going to say it's like, if obviously it exists and it does get people in shape. But for this community, it is actually very hard, right? Because you have to go to the gym, you got to meet the trainer on that schedule, you got to work around them. Plus, most in-person trainers, they don't do nutrition. And there's really no accountability and education. You kind of just show up, you work out, and you leave. Workouts are probably great, but as you've experienced, it's so much more than that, right? And for a lot of firefighters, you're probably working out at the station, maybe, right?
yeah.
So it's like why would you have that time, you're getting paid, like work out. And so I think it's like we have to have something that's more adaptable to this community. 5 years later, 12, 1,300 transformations, it's like it really works. Um, what have been like your biggest takeaways 6 months into the program, and what are you kind of looking forward to in your next 6 months?
The first 6 months was just a takeaway, is just learning consistency. I've learned that consistency is the key to this. There's days you don't feel like working out,
Oh yeah.
and everybody has them, and it's like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta go to the gym. I'll get there. And once I get there, usually it's good. It's just getting yourself there or dragging yourself downstairs after it's been a long day and it's late afternoon. You're like, all right, I got to get down there. I got to get down there. And you get down there and it's good. Um, next 6 months is just basically a rebuilding of muscle process, just to like add some more pounds on just with
Yeah.
muscle. And that's slowly starting to work. I think I think it's
Yeah.
sometimes harder to put it on and the right way than just put it on because guys are like, well, just go eat McDonald's or something, or
Yeah. Yeah.
just and it's like, well, I'm trying to put it on the right way. And there's guys that understand that at work. We have, a whole bunch of young guys and they know that you got to put it on the right way or it's just it's gonna end up bad. You'll just rebound bad way.
For
So
sure. And you've done it right. You did this like semi-aggressive cut. I mean, it's definitely lost a lot of weight, which is great. You look awesome. The belly's gone. You have a flat stomach, even some like abs popping through. So like
yeah,
you look way different. Um, Now it is kind of the rebuilding, and building muscle does take time. And yes, you could go dirty bulk, right? You could eat McDonald's
yeah,
and do a bunch of calories, but then you're kind of negating some of the work that you did before, right? So yeah, it
yeah.
takes time, like at a longer term body recomp, doing it the right way. But yeah, you're on the right path, man. So you mentioned something too. You're like, consistency is the hardest part, which of course it is, right? Because everybody
Hmm.
watching this, every firefighter and cop and military, y'all know what to do, kind of, right? Within reason. Like you know enough to not be where you are, right? You know enough to train and eat healthier. And the downfall of humans, including me, is we know what to do, we just don't do it, right?
Yeah.
So, do you feel like having a coach and having a program that like was more designed around you and having the fact that Coach Ryan was checking on you and you were, financially invested in a program, do you feel like that put some skin in the game and held you accountable?
Yeah, I mean that was good. We check in each week if I have questions. Meal tracking. It's like, okay, I'm a meal track. Well, okay, plan this out because I try to plan most of my day out, and just having him there, knowing that yeah, he's checking in, he's looking. I know he looks,
Yeah.
and just that that motivation enough was good enough because I'm like, well, I just don't want to leave him hanging, and I'm not going to waste my money on this if I'm not going to do it. And that was the biggest thing was is even my wife goes, "You're paying all this money, you better do it." She goes, "I
Yeah.
don't want to see you like in 3 months. Just stop."
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, having a coach and financial investment, it did give me skin in the game.
100%. It's like this. It's like if you had to go clean the station and you knew that your boss was going to check on it, you clean it different. Like, if your supervisor's right here, you work different. People thrive off of accountability, right? And yeah, like, emotions are tied to money too. So if you're making an investment in a program, it's not this like cheap thing. Like, why don't people go to Planet Fitness? It's $10 a month. Who cares? Right? But it's like, well, what if that same gym membership was $300 a month? Would you go? People say all the time, well, yeah. And I'm like, exactly. That's just how humans work. Right. And so, we designed our program to obviously like give you the accountability. And I want it to be an investment because, again, sometimes it's like, I kind of have to do it. Yes, that's the point. Right. Because
Yeah.
left to our own devices, we don't do the things we know we need to do. Last couple of questions. How's the just overall experience been with you? Because I'll give you some context before you answer that. Unfortunately, I think one of the fears too that I hear a lot with online coach or getting a coach, which is super valid concern, is like, is this program going to start off where my coach is like really good the first 3 weeks or month, and then it kind of just But like, how has the
Yeah.
experience been as far as like the communication, speed to response, customer service since the program?
All that's been great. Coach Ryan, I'll message him, and I messaged him the other day asking for core programming in a couple hours. It was early year time still, and a couple hours later, he said, "Yep," and all of a sudden they showed up on there. So he's been really good. He listens. He's he's been helping me with the nutrition. He's like, reassuring me that upping my calories is not going to like destroy everything. And just just having that ability to talk to a coach, and he hasn't slacked off because, yeah, he'll respond right away.
Yeah.
So if even if I need a call, I can schedule a call with him. So it's nothing that's not lacking and stuff. And that's
Good.
been great.
Good. And yeah, that's very important for me because, like, obviously I'm on the business side of it and see that that's not the case for every coaching thing. Like, we have, even though 95% of our clients have never worked with an online coach, all of our first responders, there are some that had coaches, and usually it wasn't a great experience, right? It was kind of like, oh, they were good. And then, like, it kind of dropped, or they gave me a lot of TLC in the beginning. And then blah, blah, blah. The big thing for us is, like, we have standards. He's like, hey, you get access to your coach 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. We try to get back to you in 24 hours or less, usually way, way quicker. You could book a call with your coach. Like, we want to be there. I tell clients, like, I'll get on a call with you. I don't care. I just want to be there to answer your questions, to even if it's just a freaking pep talk, right? Like, dude, come on, let's
Yeah.
get your crap straight. Like, even we all need that. And so I'm glad that's been a good experience. I guess my last
Yeah.
question for you is, if somebody was in your same position, maybe like a couple of years out from retirement in the fire service, kind of in the same spot as you, same desires, what would you tell them if they were kind of on the fence or thinking about possibly getting a coach and doing this program?
I would tell them it's not a short-term investment, it's a long-term investment in your health because um you're going to learn some habits and you'll stick with them once get them down consistently. There's things you just naturally do now. I naturally drink more water. I kind of watch what I eat and when I eat. I know that I want to be like this after I retire so I can and enjoy it. So it's a long-term investment, you know, it's not just short term and then you're done and then you go back to your other, you know, old ways. It's a long-term investment in your health and
Yeah.
overall well-being. Because
Yeah.
we talk about it all the time. You know, our battalion chief tells us all the time, his three things are when we start our meeting is retire healthy, retire financially stable, and retire mentally stable. Like
Love that.
there's no. And he goes, you work on all three of them. You need to work
Yeah.
on all three because they're a long-term thing.
Absolutely. I love that. I like him. So that's a really important thing to kind of touch on too, because you know, uh, coaching and like how our program is, because I could have went the route, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not crapping on any other companies, but there's some other apps and stuff that are kind of the cookie cutter, little things. But I don't think the vast majority of them, it's enough consistent habits to break it. It's and like people are like, I downloaded, I did it for a couple weeks. Again, it was $5, it was $10, or it was $99 a month, and I kind of had this like group, but then I fell off. It's like, I know I've been in the industry for 14 years and I've seen all of it. So when I created Mission Ready 5 years ago, I was like, look, we need something that puts skin in the game, that gives them a really high level of service, that kind of forces them to check in, to reassess, to do, to have these things, because when you leave, like, and I know you're going to leave, and that's great. And I want it to be a moment where you're like, I don't need you anymore. Great. We win, dude. I want to get you there. And as you know, we don't have thousands of clients. We have a couple hundred. And I'd rather work with people at a really high level. And when you leave, Jamie, to be like, dude, you're good. You good? Okay. High five. Awesome. And I want to know that you continue it. And the cool thing about our program is we do have people, been in business for 5 years in this business. And so we have people that have been out 2, 3 years, a year, whatever. I talk to a lot of them on Instagram and social media, or they talk to their coach. They're doing well. The vast majority of guys are still in shape. Most of them are actually continuing to get in better shape. But like, that's how I know I win. Because again, like, I do not want to take the first responder community and give them a quick turnaround. I want to actually influence it, and we've seen it happen. I mean, Josh, I know you're not working with him directly, but is a great example. Was a client, lost 80 pounds in 10 months, posted a transformation, went a little bit viral with his community, welcomed like 20, 30 firefighters into our program. And now they're at their stations, helping other guys. It's just this ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
And from a personal standpoint, dude, you earned it. Like, you should go rejoin your retirement. Financially stable, physically stable, and mentally stable. And I also would argue that this is mental too. It's very
Yeah.
hard to be mentally healthy and to take the stress and the weight of the job and the responsibility if you're not taking care of your body. Because the beautiful thing about taking care of your body is if you take care of your body, it's not a fix, but it is way easier to be mentally healthy.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
like you take some added stress off
a
your
hun-
mind.
100%. Like try to be super depressed 20 minutes out of workout after a workout. It's hard, right? So if we can consistently train, again, it's not solving PTSD, depression, whatever, but it does help. And so I think like from a mental standpoint, it's a little bit of mind, body, spirit, right? I want you guys putting in the work. I want you taking care of yourself. And then obviously, dude, enjoying the retirement, being with your family, knowing that you're physically capable and you can go do the things you want, you
Yeah.
know? And so I'm proud of you, man. Like not only the work you put in, but that you invested and that you looked at it as a long-term investment and you have put in the work. And I know it's not easy work. It is a grind. If it was easy, everybody would be shredded and in great shape. That's why in the Fire Academy, they like
Definitely a
force it.
grind.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. It's not easy, but is it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. So, yeah, dude, I really appreciate you jumping on. This is super valuable. Again, like from the bottom of my heart, I'm proud of you. You've had a great transformation. You put in the work, proof's in the pudding, dude. The results speak for themselves. And I'm really excited to see kind of what you do over the next 6 months.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself because I have put in the work and stuff and it feels good and I feel good and my wife notices it too. And so like tonight I'm going to walk with her after work. I've been helping her because she's trying to shed a few pounds and she lacks motivation some days. So I said, I'll meet you at Club Fitness to walk. I mean,
Yeah.
she just sits there and listens to her book on tape, and I just sit there and walk next to her.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the power though, right? Like you were, the leader and you got in shape and now she's like, okay. And then now you kind of have the ability to help her and guide her a little bit. And that's a lot of men in our and women, but a lot of men in our program, um, do that. Like they kind of get in shape and the wife maybe is like, oh, what are you doing? And kind of follows suits. And like, that's a win. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to be her trainer, but it's easier to be healthy if both people are healthy.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's
Right.
just like, hey, I'll be there for you. You have to put in the work, but I'll be there for you. Meet you after work, so you can't skip. You're like, oh, I'm tired tonight and stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna meet me there, so and
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, thank you for jumping on. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and I'm excited to kind of see where you get and when your program's done.
All right, thank you for the kind words and everything.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Cool. So